Trigonometry, right-angled triangles. In this video, we are going to focus on finding an angle in a right-angled triangle. In the previous videos, we were finding a side in a right-angled triangle. But in this one, we're going to find an angle. They will only give you the 90-degree angle, and you must find one of the other two angles, or both. We're still going to make use of SohCahToa. You will find this on page 450 in the Namibian Ordinary Level Mathematics textbook, y equals mx plus c to success. Find an angle in a right-angled triangle. In the previous section, we learned how to find the sides of a right-angled triangle if we are given an acute angle and the value of the geometrical ratio of the angle. We will now explore how to find the acute angle if two sides are given and you can find the trigonometrical ratio. On the calculator, we will use the inverse function key. It's almost like they programmed it on top of the key. So to come to that top, you will always press sin minus 1, cos minus tan minus 1. But these keys are usually the second function. So there in the corner of your calculator, you will press shift or second function and then press the normal sin or cos or tan, and that will bring you to that functions. Okay. So these keys are usually the second functions of the keys for sin, cos, and tan. So let's look at an example. Find the following angles given the trigonometrical ratios. Give your answers correct to one decimal place. Remember, in this syllabus, answers of angles will be one decimal place. So if I give you this, you will just press on your calculator shift or second function, then you press the sin key, then you press 0.8, then you press equal, and then you get your answer. Again, make sure your calculator is on degrees. The same here, you will press shift cos 0.42 equals shift tan 1.08 equals, and you will get your answers. So just first make sure you can press it on the calculator. I think 2 will be enough. So just do number A. Okay, let's take 3, then at least you have all the functions. So let's start. So in this case, if I'm asking you, I'm just going to write it. So you're just going to press shift sin 0.7 equals, and then don't forget, it's the angle A. That don't say just equal, it's angle A. That's in one decimal place, 44.4 degrees. So if I look at B, so again, shift cos or second function cos 0.35 equals, and then angle B will be equal to 69.5 degrees. And then the next one, number C, so it's again shift or second function, tan 1.27 equals, so angle C is equal to 51.8 degrees. Okay, let's move on. In triangle KLM, K is 90, they give you all the dimensions, find angle L. Now again, do it always like this. Always start by naming the sides. Okay, but now from the angle asked, not from the angle given like in sides, from the angle asked for. So circle the two involved. So the two involved will be the two sides given, and then this one will be dismissed. So this is opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. So this two will be opposite and hypotenuse, and still we are going to work with SohCah. I prefer writing that letters capital, then you don't get confused. So opposite and hypotenuse, what function is it going to be? Sin. So sin angle L is 5/8. And now what I prefer, if you press it, if it's like this, then I prefer that you press shift sin bracket 5 / 8 close the bracket equals, and then don't just say equal, say angle L, whatever stands there, repeat it. and that will be 38.7 degrees, correct to 1 decimal place. Okay, I want you to stop the video, and I want you to do A, I want you to do B, and I want you to do, no, let's just not C, make it 2A. You can continue the video as soon as you are finished. Okay, let's start. Now again, I'm looking for an angle, so at the angle R, stand and name your sides. So this is opposite, this is adjacent, this is hypotenuse. So what sides are given? This, so who's out? That one. So if I start there, now again your word SohCahToa. So opposite adjacent, it's tan. So it's going to be tan of angle, let's call it A, but I prefer that you always say opposite over adjacent. Now what is in the place of opposite? 6, adjacent 8. Then automatically you will know what to write on top and what to write on the bottom. And then don't forget, always if you see work out angles, you must tell your calculator to go to the top. And how do you tell them? By pressing shift or second function. So shift tan bracket 6 divide by 8, and the answer will be of angle A will be 36.9 degrees. Let's do the next one. I'm just going to clean a little bit here. Okay. So number B, what angle do they are? So again I stand here. Now the long one is the hypotenuse. The one next to me adjacent, the one across me opposite. Who's playing the game? It's going to be adjacent and hypotenuse. Who's out of the game? Opposite. So I'm going to say in this case, okay, let's just see. Adjacent hypotenuse, do you see? So I'm going to say cos of angle B equals adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent is going to be 9, hypotenuse is going to be 19. So again, tell your calculator to go to angles by saying shift cos bracket 9 divide 19, close the bracket, and the answer of angle B will be 61.7 degrees. Oh, that's the final answer. Okay, and then number 2A. Now I'm just going to clean, and it's just easier to write here. In triangle ABC, now if they don't give you a sketch, always do it yourself. So, okay, let's first see what is, let's just see, angle B is 90. So always the one that's 90, mark that first. So then it's A, B, C. Now you can say angle B is 90. AB is 6, and AC is 10. Find angle A. Okay, now first name your sides. You're standing there. So this is your opposite, this is your hypotenuse, and this is your adjacent. Now, who's the 2 given? Who's out? So I'm going to say, in this case, again, my word SohCahToa. So adjacent hypotenuse, it's going to be cos. So I'm going to say cos of angle A, and it's going to be adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent is 6, hypotenuse is 10. Now tell your calculator to go to angles by saying shift cos bracket 6 divide 10, close the bracket, and angle A is going to be 53.1 degrees. Okay, and that's your answer. Let's move on. A lighthouse LH is 72 meters high. Given that the point G on the level ground is 1.25 meters away from the foot H of the lighthouse, calculate. It's just a practical example. But take out the triangle and mark. You are looking for angle G. You are looking for that. So all that you are going to do now, you should still name your sides. You look what is the two given, opposite, adjacent. So what is my function tan? Tell your calculator to go to angles by saying shift or second function tan, bracket 72, divide 125, close the bracket, and that will be your answer. Okay, again, I want you to stop the video, and I want you to do number 1. Try now 15, number 1. You can continue the video as soon as you are finished. Wires 4.2 meters long are used to support a radio mast. If the wire are fixed from the ground anchors to a point 32.7, okay, so I think it's a triangle coming up. So let's just make the triangle. Okay. So wires 4.2 long are used to support the radio mast. If the wires are fixed from the ground to a point high on the mast, what angle do they make with the ground? So in this case, okay, let's just see. This is going to be the mast. Okay, I used to support a radio mast. Wire are fixed from the ground anchors to a point. Okay, so this is 30. Okay, let's just get the pen correct. 30, pen is still not correct. 32.7. Okay, wires long, and this is 42.5. Okay, there's my angle. There's the mask, there's my wires, and it's fixed there. That's the height where it's fixed, and that's the wire. Okay. So now, again, I'm looking for this angle, which I can call X. Okay. So this is opposite, the one over the 90, because the mast will be with 90 degrees to the ground. So that's the hypotenuse, and that will be the adjacent. Now, this is opposite, hypotenuse, who is out adjacent. So again, SohCahToa. So if I look opposite and hypotenuse, it's sin. So I will start by saying sin of X, and it's going to be opposite over hypotenuse, and the opposite is going to be 32.7, and the hypotenuse is going to be 42.5. Now again, it's an angle, so press shift or second function sin bracket 32.7 divide 42.5, close the bracket, and the value of X will be 50.3 degrees. So you can end, what angle do they make with the ground? It make an angle of 50.3 degrees to the ground, something like that. Okay, let's look at the last one. Now this is again a combination. So there's two 90-degree triangles. If that is 90, that will also be 90. So in the diagram, they give you all the dimensions, which you see on the picture. Write down the length of DB. Let's say DB. Now DB is just the 6 plus the 2, so it's just 8. And then calculate the length of BC. So you work in this triangle, but don't forget, and that's why they were helping you to get. So if I have, now this is almost like a mixed example. I have two sides and I want to find the third side. So what do? Pythagoras theorem. I'm looking for a short, and that's why it's subtract. Okay, so I get this is 6, and it's always good to write it in. Then calculate angle DCB, this angle. So this is going to be opposite over hypotenuse, but you can use actually any one now. Opposite over, but it's always better maybe to use ones that's given. Maybe you made a mistake there and you got that. And then calculate the length of AB. Now you have that and you have that. So now it's SohCahToa. That was Pythagoras. So I'm standing, and I'm going to clean first. Okay, just remember that 6. So I'm standing here, and then this is opposite, and this is adjacent, and that is hypotenuse. Okay. So tan is going to be opposite over, I'm looking for AB. So it's opposite over adjacent, that's why it's tan. Okay, so SohCahToa, OR. Okay, so I get my tan and I get my answer. Then the last one, the length of AC. So it's just going to be that 7,51 plus that original 6 I got there, and then. So it's just a combination of using angles as well as sides. Okay, I want you to stop the video and I want you to do for me, okay, let's see if I can do one. I think just do number 2. You can continue the video as soon as you are finished. Okay, let's start. I have my picture, so it's very nice. Everything is marked, everything is clear in the picture. It's always good to read it through and just to make sure that all the information is in the picture. Now find the length of AD. So it's almost like you are going to focus on this one. Okay, so this is now going to give you, so I'm standing there. So this is my opposite, this is my adjacent, and this is my hypotenuse. Now in this case, I'm looking for AD, a side, not angle, a side. So think, I'm going to go back to SohCahToa, but the side. So the one given and the one asked, because they asked AD, that one is out. Again, write down your function, SohCahToa. So adjacent over hypotenuse. So in this case, I'm busy with number 2. So it will be cos of 60 equals adjacent over hypotenuse. So in the place of adjacent, it's going to be AD over hypotenuse 3. If the unknown is on top, can you still remember? It's going to be a multiply. So it's 3 multiply cos 60. Okay, and that is nice. It's 1.5 centimeters. It's always good to write it in. Okay, now I wrote so many things, so I'm going to clean this and just fold this in 1.5. Now the length of DC, this is 8. So if I want to, this was A, this B. If I want to find DC, it will just be 8 minus that 1.5, and that will just give me 6.5 centimeters. And then the final one, the size of angle C, this angle. Okay, so I have now, let's write it in again, 6.5. And they usually help you if they give you A, a B, and a C. So it's almost like B and A must help you in C, or B must help you in C. So I focus on this triangle. I want to mark it. Just focus on one triangle at a time, 90-degree triangle. So again, I'm standing at the angle ask, which is this one. And now this is going to be opposite, this is going to be adjacent, and this is going to be hypotenuse. And now I'm looking, what is the two sides given? Hypotenuse and adjacent. So who is out? That one. So now I start by saying adjacent hypotenuse. So it's still going to be cos of angle C. Always remember adjacent over hypotenuse. Then you will not wonder which one to write on top. You look what is in the place of adjacent, 6.5. You look what is in the place of hypotenuse, 7. And now don't forget, you are looking now, that's too many lines. You're looking for an angle. So tell your calculator to go to angles by pressing shift or second function, cos bracket 6.5 divide 7, close the bracket. So angle C will be equal to 21.8 degrees. And that's my final answer.